Episode 12 of the Social Good Hour with Chris Strubb begins in 90 seconds. Tell your friends. Welcome back, everybody, to the Fly the W studio here in downtown Greenville, South Carolina. My name is Chris Strubb, the Giving Day guy. This is episode 12 of the Social Good Hour, sponsored by Restream. And as we get going here, I just want to, right off the bat, say thank you to each and every one of you who have tuned in to an episode of the Social Good Hour this season. Today is the season finale of the Social Good Hour, season 1. So hopefully we'll be making some changes to the structure of the show. I'm sure if you've been watching since the beginning, you've noticed that every show has been a little different, and that is, of course, by design. So we are working on trying to make the show the best as we can, as best as we can for each and every one of you. And the show is really made for you. And I'm able to use the power of Restream to turn on this chat overlay feature. And so if you're watching this on replay or you're watching live, two different experiences, right? If you're watching live, you can be like my buddy Sean, and you can have your comments seen on screen and read by me. It says, "Hey, Chris, feel better, bud." So Sean knows that I'm sort of roughing it today. Looking out the window and seeing all the pollen out there. My allergies have really hit me pretty hard these last couple of days, and got my second vaccine shot yesterday. So Chris Bryant says, greetings from YouTube. Thank you, Chris. It's great to see you. Mark says, hey, Chris, it's great to see you, Mark. If you've been watching all season long, you know that we start off every show with Tell Me Something Good.
Tell me something good.
Go ahead and in the comments, you can tell me something good, and I will put your comments on the screen here. Tell me something good is your chance to get your good news on the screen. Christine Wilson says, "Hi, Chris," and Mark says, "Allergies been kicking my butt too." I hear you, man. I hear you. It's been a rough day here. So, tell me something good. Throw something in the comments. I know there's a lot of good things going on in the world. Hopefully there's something going on good in your world. Today is going to be a very free-form episode. Last week we had a whole bunch of slides made. We talked through content that you could share as a nonprofit on your Giving Day. Hope you guys enjoyed that episode. I've also got some clips lined up from the first season. So as we get going here, I'll be able to show you guys some highlights from the first season of the Social Good Hour. Chris Bryant says he got his house appraised as I'm getting near the list, and it was much higher than expected. That's a smiley face, right? That's a good thing. We like those high appraisals. Yeah, I'm on the other side of the equation here, Chris. My dad and I were looking at houses down here in Greenville last week, and buy appraisals not good if you're a buyer. They're great if you're Chris Bryant and you're trying to sell your house. Scott Air says, after 45 minutes of struggling to drop the spare tire on my Suburban this morning after getting a flat tire, I searched YouTube, realized how dumb I was, and 10 minutes later, I was done changing the tire. It's amazing the things that you can learn on YouTube, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys who are watching on YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, wherever you guys are watching from. I appreciate you guys. So, what we're going to do today, again, we're going to have a bit of an Ask Me Anything show. If you have questions for me, you can throw them in the comments, and I will get right to them. Here we go. Mark says, good things, help another family get a solar system, and they're saving over $200 a month. Yeah, awesome. That is fantastic, Mark. Congratulations. That's great for you and for the family. So, again, tell me something good. If you've enjoyed, tell me something good this season. Hopefully you have. I appreciate you guys being here. It's been fun. Remember, if you want to support the show, you can hit the subscribe button here on YouTube. Hit the like button, turn the bell on, retweet on Twitter. You can tag at Restream.io on Twitter and let them know that you're a fan of the show. You can add me on LinkedIn and watch the show over there like Christine is right now. And you can share it to your Instagram story. All season long, we've been doing the freeze frame. Let's do the freeze frame right now. Episode 12. Why not? What are we waiting for? Do give me one of these. What am I doing here with this? I can count on Chris Bryant to have freeze framed the wackiest part of that moment there. So thank you, Chris, for always being such a big fan of the show. Sean says he got his first COVID shot, down 12 pounds in about a month and just feeling good. That's what it's all about, Sean. I love to hear it. Congratulations on the weight loss and the COVID shot. What do you got? The Pfizer shot? So you got 3 weeks. The Moderna, you got 4 weeks to get back. I had the Moderna. A long 4 weeks in between those shots, and now a long day afterwards here. I do want to say thank you to our sponsor, Restream. Where is my Restream? Overlay here? So it says Pfizer. Nice. So the show would not be possible without Restream. I want to give my sincere gratitude to Restream, and we're just going to play a quick word from our sponsor. But in the meantime, as we're playing the quick word here, I want you to throw your questions. You can ask me literally anything you want. Anything. Doesn't have to be about live streaming video or nonprofit. Throw any question you want at me. If you've seen me do an AMA before, you know that I will literally answer absolutely anything. So this is your chance, folks who are watching live. I appreciate you guys. You're watching on replay. You had your shot, 4 p.m. Mondays. And let's play this quick video from Restream, and we'll get to your Ask Me Anything questions right after the video. It's so much fun here this season, playing around with the different overlays, the different layouts here. And hopefully you guys have enjoyed some of the production value that we've been able to add. It's really fun to be able to play around with the different layouts and share screens, play those pre-recorded videos. Obviously, we've brought in a bunch of guests. And if you've enjoyed any of that, or all those elements, you can go to restream.teamscrub.com. And you can sign up now for your free trial of Restream. I'm going to put that in the comments right now. Sign up for your free trial of Restream. You can see that I can actually just type right into the comments. And now my own comment actually shows up there as if it's from Restream. You go to restream.teamscrub.com. You can click on that comment and get started with Restream today. So in the meantime, while you guys come up with your questions here, we're going to play some promotional clips from our previous episodes here. If you've been watching from the beginning, you'll remember episode 2 was our first episode with a guest, with the wonderful Hannah Drake. Hannah is one of my favorite people in the world. And let's play a little clip from our first episode with a guest with Hannah Drake.
Someone was live the night Breonna Taylor was murdered and was live with the police shooting. You could hear it. And she's speaking about this live, that this is how close it is, where we saw what happened with George Floyd. Had that young woman not been live, what would the story have been? And so I always say, whoever invented the camera, phone, to put it, who thought, let's put this in a phone, you deserve a humanitarian award. Because often that's the difference between justice and injustice, is that, like the young woman who videotaped George Floyd, I'm going to take my phone, and she was 18 years old. I'm going to take my phone, videotape this. It's going to be seen around the world, and it shifted the way America and the world thought about race.
You guys are here live for episode 2. You know how powerful a person Hannah Drake is, and just very grateful to her for joining us for that hour. Grateful, of course, to all of you for taking the time to join us throughout the season, and of course for that episode 2 with Hannah Drake. I've got some more promotional clips lined up, but like I said, if you've got questions, I've got answers. Chris Bryant says, I've been wondering forever, what's the story behind the name Fly the W Studio? Well, that's a great question. So if I kind of duck down a little bit, you see the W flag kind of hanging up over my head there. There's also a W banner there. So when the Chicago Cubs win a game, which is not very often these days, outside of Wrigley Field, they fly the giant W flag up above the stadium. Now, when they lose, they fly an L flag, and they've lost more than they've won this year. Hopefully, that'll change tonight against Milwaukee. But if you're a Cubs fan or you're familiar with Cubs vernacular, the fly the W idea is a very popular phrase for Cubs fans, and I really try to take that to the next level and theme my home studio here around my love for the Chicago Cubs. So, great question. Love me the Cubs here. We may be remodeling the Fly the W studio. I mean, everything is sort of on the table now as we conclude season 1 of the First for Good Hour. But yeah, I've got that giant W flag hanging there above my head. You kind of see it if I lift the camera up a little bit more. That's going to knock my framing off here. Yeah, giant W flag there hanging in the apartment. I've had it hanging in the window. I've had it hanging on the wall over there. And now I've got it up in, I think, what's the sweet spot here in the studio. Scott says, great question. Thanks, Scott. Waited for an Ask Me Anything to ask. And Scott says, never knew about the Cubs thing. So yeah, if you guys have more questions for me, anything, literally anything, if you guys want to ask about anything that had to do with 50 States, 100 Days, which was a 50-state road trip that I took during the summer of 2015 for the Fight for Good tour, which was in 2017. I took a 25-state, 38-day road trip from Houston to Manhattan. Happy to answer questions about that. Anything about Instagram or Twitter or anything like that, you let me know. Mark says, I have a question about setting up a nonprofit or if that's even necessary with this idea I have with my company. You know, Chris, or maybe someone that I could talk to about it. The idea is to give away a solar system to a low-income family once a year or quarterly. best way to go about that? I don't know. I've fielded this question before about like, should I start a nonprofit? Generally, the answer that I would say would be no. Just generally speaking, not knowing all the specifics of your situation, Mark, I don't know that setting up a nonprofit is usually the best way to go. I think there's a lot of different other opportunities to um, figure out how to make that happen. I think our guest from episode 8, is that right? In episode 8, Julia Campbell would know a lot better than I would. I would tweet your question to Julia Campbell. Her Twitter is Julia C. Social. Mama Scrub is watching. She says, hi, are you going to do a second series of 12 more episodes? Well, I hope so. I would love to. As you guys know, I've got the party poppers. I told this story last week. I bought a box of 24 party poppers. This is number 12. So I've got 12 more in the box. So I would love to do another series of 12 episodes. I've got different ideas for how we might restructure the show a little bit. I've got no shortage of great guests. So if you guys are enjoying the Social Good Hour, if you hit that share button, if you keep the comments coming, all these things really matter, and the one thing that I will say is that the decision as to whether or not the show continues is kind of out of my hands. So we will see. I'm extremely grateful to Restream for sponsoring season 1 of the show. And if it was up to me, I'd love to host another set of 12 episodes or even more. So fingers crossed here in the Fly the W studio. And if you guys are enjoying the show, all these things that you're seeing on the screen are great ways to demonstrate that you support the show as well. Really, the best way to support the show would be to go to restream.teamscrub.com and sign up for your free trial of Restream. That is super helpful. So keep those questions coming. You can ask me anything, and I will answer anything you want. Again, this is episode 12. Ask Chris anything. But for the moment here, we'll play another quick clip from episode 3 with Jay Dew, my buddy here in Greenville, South Carolina, the host of the One Voice Show. Let's play this clip from episode 3. And as a reminder, you can go back and rewatch all of these episodes on demand on my YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/Restream. What do you think is so important as an entrepreneur to stay driven and successful?
Man, there's so many things, but yeah, I know you're going to make it to 10 years and beyond, Chris, for sure. So I would say to the folks,
there's no turning back now. That's
right,
for sure.
Exactly, right. So the thing is, you got to move forward, and when you move forward, time is going to move forward, but you want to progress. I want to progress, and that's what you got to remember to do. I would say number one is just make the next call. Keep moving forward. You're always going to need a pipeline of opportunity. And so there is not actually, even during the pandemic, right? We talked about this. My show became virtual. My fundraising effort in the summer for Ronald McDonald became virtual. And I made for the house, we as a community group, we made $5,000-$6,000 more than I'd ever made doing it virtually than all the in-person stuff that I'd ever done before. There's never a lack of resources. There's only a lack of resourcefulness.
There's never a lack of resources. There's only a lack of resourcefulness. If you missed that episode with Jay Dew, I encourage you to go back and check it out. Again, my YouTube channel is youtube.com/ChrisStrub. You can chat about the show on Twitter using the hashtag #SocialGoodHour. You can find me on Instagram and Twitter @ChrisStrub. And if you want to get your own show going, you can go to strubstuff.com. Check out all the gear that I use to create the Social Good Hour, from the microphone to the mic stand, the Lumix Panasonic G95. Christina says, hey, I'm late, but I'm here. Hey, everyone. Hello, PR Christina. Welcome to episode 12. Better late than never. We are doing an Ask Me Anything today. So Christina is one of those friends who has met me in real life. Christina knows how open I will be. So PR Christina, my challenge to you is to go ahead and ask Chris anything, post your comments, and I'll answer. And in the interim, we're running some clips from the first season of the show. We've had some wonderful guests, including Neosha Franklin from Give STL Day from the St. Louis Community Foundation. And let's play a quick clip from Neosha's episode, which was episode number 4. Again, you can go back and watch all these episodes on demand on any of my social media channels, like my Facebook page, or better yet, my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Chris. Here's a clip from episode 4 with Neosha Franklin.
And right now, with live stream and video, it's really important to keep people engaged and how can we share our missions. And since we can't really be together right now physically, I think video for the nonprofits especially has been very key, and a lot of storytelling has been happening right now, especially amongst with all of the COVID response programming that has been happening, how our communities have come together, and being able to tell those stories have been very, very key to really help people display their missions. And so I think, I know personally there are weeks and days when I am completely zoomed out. You're in Zoom meetings all day, but virtually, that's the way we're staying connected right now. So it's really, really important for nonprofits and for our community to really understand that, video has a way of taking things that, are really, really high level and minimizing them down to 30 seconds to a minute to really show impact. So I'm excited to see what our nonprofits come up with this year. And I'm also excited to do some video ourselves this year. And
so there you have it, Neosha Franklin talking a bit about Give STL Day, which is coming up this year on May 6th. May 6th is Give STL Day. You can go to givestlday.org to learn more about Give STL Day, which is a giving day that I've worked with the last couple of years. So thank you again to Neosha for being on the show. Episode 5 was another fantastic episode of the Social Good Hour. We had on my buddy Troy Sandage. And if you missed this episode, we had some really awesome live engagement with Troy. Troy brought his fan club along, which was so cool. So, Troy, very grateful to you for doing that and for taking the time out of your busy schedule. So let's play a little clip from episode 5 of the first season of the Social Good Hour with Troy Sandage. Again, all these prior episodes are available on demand at youtube.com/ChrisTroy.
I think that allows people to trust you more and kind of open the door to have more authentic conversations, because this is live. Like, we're giving you whatever the first thing comes to our mind. This isn't scripted. We don't have time to overanalyze, even apply biases or anything like that. It's just like raw, real, here it is. And that's just how Chris Strupp is. So I think the benefit of people utilizing live streams is it allows you to take away some of the biases and create a very honest atmosphere that now, if you choose to give value, be transparent, really get real with yourself, tell a few good stories, and ask the community, they will actually lead you in the conversation of where you want to go. It's not always about sales. It's just about having a great conversation. And as you can see in the comments, people add their value, ask their questions, as Chris Strupp is always a good moderator and good host. And we're just in this whole zone where we're just sharing ideas and having a great conversation.
That's my video back over there. Yeah, I love the interactive element of live video. So grateful to each and every one of you guys who have taken some time this season to check out an episode of the Social Good Hour. Again, today we're doing an Ask Chris Anything. So if you have questions for me, this is your chance. If you're watching live here Monday afternoon, 4 p.m. Eastern, you can ask me literally any question you want, and I will answer it. I dare you to try me. I mean, we can talk about anything. It's totally up to you. That's the idea. Ask me anything. In the meantime, though, we'll keep playing some clips from this awesome first season that is wrapping up here today. In case you're just joining, today is the season finale of the Social Good Hour, Season 1, sponsored by Restream. So huge shout out to our friends at Restream for supporting Season 1 of the show. Again, if you want to support the show, you can do any of these things on the right side of the screen. I don't think you can retweet on Twitter right now. I don't know why you didn't get a tweet sent out with the show live, but you can certainly add me on LinkedIn. You can hit that subscribe button on YouTube and share it to your Instagram story, whatever you want to do. Every little bit helps, trust me, especially when you tag Restream. All right, here we go. I got a question from Pierre Christina before we play our next clip. She says, hey, I have a question that I get from people all the time about myself. How much time do you spend creating content every week to grow your audience? Boy, I'm going to parse the words in the question a little bit, where you say to grow your audience. I don't know that I've worked necessarily hard enough to grow my audience so much as trying to maintain the attention of the audience that you have, right? I mean, you can see over my shoulder here, I've got over 3,000 followers on Instagram. I've got 17,000 followers on Twitter, almost 3,000 friends on Facebook. And the old adage is, what is it? You want to have 100 true fans, 100 true fans that really stick with you and follow you, versus I'm trying to grow your audience. But if you're not providing value and you're not entertaining those people that are already connected to you, then growing your audience isn't going to do anything for you. It might make you look good if your number of followers climbs, but from a week-to-week basis, if PR Christina isn't watching what I'm doing, and I've spent a lot of time and effort trying to create a really great show every Monday, 4 p.m. Eastern. I've changed all my bios on social media. I've bought equipment here in the studio. I've made phone calls and sent texts and DMs. And yet, there's not 17,000 people watching the show every Monday. Right? So the idea of growing your audience, I think, is a bit of a conundrum, because if you're not maintaining the audience that you have, and I would argue that almost everybody out there isn't, then what good does growing the audience do in the first place? Right? So it's a fascinating question, talking about growing your audience. When I work with Giving Days, is growing the audience part of the deal, part of the social contract? I think so. But really, at the end of the day, what it comes down to is trying to create content that engages and entertains and activates the audience that you already have. And I've tried everything that I could this season. It's tough. It's really tough. It's really, really tough. And there's some pros out there that do a magnificent job of it. And I'm trying my best. But if I'm not putting on a show every Monday that PR Christina says, I need to be at this show. Like, clear my calendar. I don't care what else is going on. I'm sorry. I'm booked. It's 3 p.m. in Houston. I've got to watch the Social Good Hour. That's my goal. It's not about trying to grow the audience. It's about trying to create content that is sticky and addictive and keeps you coming back. And that's really what I've tried to do with the Social Good Hour. It really is. And, it's tough. It's really tough. It's really tough. Well, thank you for the question. Episode 6 of the Social Good Hour was March 1st, and that was with Molly Melia, formerly of the Community Foundation of Louisville. And since actually she's taken a job with GiveGab, which is one of the Giving Day providers. Let's play a little clip from Molly's episode, sort of her swan song with the Community Foundation of Louisville.
I think some of the coolest thing that I have seen nonprofits do over the years is just being really authentic to who they are. I think that there's something to be said about really embracing what you do and why people love what you do. And I've seen so many organizations do this in really creative ways. One of those ways being taking a chance and just sharing their story from a place of honesty. And I've seen some organizations do exactly what we're doing right now. Get on a live stream. And when they get on a live stream, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. It doesn't have to be a huge production. But I've seen some organizations just give tours of their facility to people who maybe can't make it in, or sit down, at a small little table and talk to somebody that has been, touched by the services that they provide. And I think that that's one of the coolest things that I've really seen organizations do.
Molly Melia has just really done a wonderful job over the years of building Give at Louisville, which is coming up in September. I'm looking forward to being back there. I'm just looking at my phone real quick to make sure that I tweet out the link as well here, as it looks like maybe Restream did not tweet out today's show, so we might not be live on Twitter, but that's okay. Again, we're doing Ask Me Anything, and we're fielding another question here from my buddy Pierre Christina down in Houston. He says, I also want to know what's coming up for you in the upcoming Giving Tuesday events. How can we keep supporting? So that's another outstanding question. I really appreciate it. I have 3 Giving Days coming up in the first week and a half of May. May 4th is Midlands Gives in Columbia, South Carolina. May 7th is Give Local York in York, Pennsylvania. And May 11th is Give Local 757 in Norfolk, Virginia. Really, the best way to keep up with what I'm doing at those days would be to just stay in tune with me on Instagram and Twitter at Christoph. I really post a lot of behind-the-scenes content from those Giving Days. When I'm traveling, I post all kinds of Instagram stories, and certainly will be tweeting from the road as well. I will be traveling to York, Pennsylvania for Give Local York on May 7th. I'll also be in Columbia for Midlands Gives, and Vesper for Drive, and then we'll be producing Give Local 757 from here in the 5W studio. So just keep a close eye on my Instagram and Twitter, and I'll be sharing out some more information on what exactly our live streaming schedule will look like. We'd love for you guys to join in a couple of those live streams during the day, but we don't quite have the live schedule set up yet. So thank you, Pierre Christina, for asking. As we get the live schedule set up, I'll be tweeting it out and posting on different social media channels. Thanks, guys. Episode 7 of the Social Good Hour with Mark 8 with Jennifer Overstad. Really, really enjoyed this episode. This was an emotional ride with the chat with my old friend Jen up in Raleigh, North Carolina. A very quick clip from our episode with Jen Overstad.
The thing about live streaming is that whatever goes out there, it's very hard to take back when it's live. You can't necessarily just go online as an employee and a representative of a very large company and just say whatever you want to. Most of the time it does need to be scripted for a variety of reasons that should not stop a company from live streaming. I think if anything, a great way for a large company to start live streaming is to do it internally. I mean, a show like this where you have your communications person or your HR person interviewing team members around the company and finding out what's going on in their lives, or maybe you are you're interviewing your customers or your clients. Keep it internal, and then once you build that framework, then take it externally. But yeah, I understand the concern, and as an attorney, it's a valid concern.
Grabbing a quick sip of water there as well. Sorry, I'm a little out of it today, guys. In case you missed it at the beginning of the show, I got my second Moderna shot yesterday, and have really been fighting off some pretty significant allergies here in the last couple of days. So kind of all hopped up on little various over-the-counter medications here in Greenville. So fighting my way through it here. This is part of the importance of being consistent with a live show is, when you say you're going to be live on Monday, 4 p.m., you're going to be live Monday, 4 p.m., and that's where we are. So, again, if you are watching live, got a message that my audio might be a little squirrely. I don't know what's going on with that. I know that we've got the audio in the right input and everything here. So maybe I need to just talk more into the mic. I don't know. Let me know if you're watching, if my audio is still a little off. Episode 8 of the Social Good Hour was a few weeks ago, March 15th, with Julia Campbell. Had a great time chatting with Julia, who I think is one of the most talented nonprofit social media marketers in the country. It was a true blessing to get a chance to speak with Julia Campbell. So let's play a quick clip from our conversation last month with Julia.
The other piece of the puzzle is the truth and the reality of social media. Like, we don't own the platforms. We have zero control over what they do, over how they operate. They are big businesses. They answer to their shareholders only. They don't answer to the users. We know that we're a commodity. Our data is being sold. So I think we need to be realistic that we can't put all of our eggs in the social media basket. We need to be using these tools to augment things that we're already doing. But we really need to be building our platforms off social media, using social media to maybe cast a wider net, reach more people, do a live stream and like showcase our thought leadership and that kind of thing. But attracting people, building our email list is always, always essential. I think it's even more essential now. Getting people to your website, getting people to your events, just building your network on a place that you can control, which is really like your website, your blog, and your email list, your donor list.
A great, great informative show with Julia Campbell of JC Social Marketing. Really encourage you to go check out that episode number 8 on my YouTube channel. Let's put the YouTube channel in the comments here. Subscribe on YouTube for more social. www.youtube.com. So just definitely to go back and rewatch the episode with Julia. She is brilliant. We've had some really awesome nonprofit marketers here on the show. And then that's where you can go. On YouTube, we've got a playlist set up where you can check out all the episodes of the Social Good Hour. Watch them back to back to back. Grab a couple drinks, grab some friends, make a game out of it. It's been a whole lot of fun hosting all of these shows, especially the show, episode 9 here with Prince Holmes. If you guys missed the episode with Prince, I would highly encourage you to go check out my conversation with Prince. He is the executive director of Youth Rebuilding New Orleans. Christina Sister missed that episode too with Julia. A great, great conversation that we had. So this has been the fun part, guys, is these conversations, I think, have gotten better and better and better as the season has gone on. Nothing against the guests in the beginning of the season at all. I adore Hannah Drake. I'm talking from my perspective. I think I've gotten more comfortable in the interview space here and have really enjoyed playing that role for you guys over the last few months. And Mark said, love it, Prince and feeling down in New Orleans. Great swag, too. Yep, we talked about the swag. You can go to yrnostore.com if you want to check out the YRMO swag. So let's play a quick clip from our episode with Prince Holmes. Remember, youtube.com/Chris is where you can check out the full episode. So let's talk about the role of social media in spreading the word about Youth Rebuilding New Orleans.
Yeah, yes, indeed, for sure. I need to give you a shout out, bro, because you actually put me on Snapchat at the time. I wasn't into, just documenting my life. I was a very private guy, still am, to be honest.
Yeah.
And you changed my perspective, because initially, is it genuine that when you are doing good things. I guess you're helping out the community, and then you have a camera right after the show, like, yo, I did this to make sure that people know that you're doing good things. So I was kind of conflicted, but after our conversation, just document the process. Document the process is very important, and it can inspire others as well. So it's not just about me. Maybe I can inspire someone who can't get down here to New Orleans and rebuild the neighborhood, but they're in Inglewood, California, and they want to do the same thing.
I loved meeting Prince in real life during the first couple weeks of 50 States, 100 Days, the book. And just a reminder, if you're looking for ways to support me, as Christina asked, I should have mentioned that before too, that a great way to do that would be to get a copy of actually both of my books. Here you go. So you got 50 States, 100 Days, the book, which is the original. And then actually, a lot of people don't know, I also took a big road trip from, actually started in Houston. Christina and I stayed at Hotel Island, which is our buddy Rebecca's hotel client down in Houston. To start off with a good point, I talk about my time at Hotel Island in this book here, and the road trip in the Honda Hotel from Houston to Manhattan, which was fascinating back in November and December of 2017. Feels like ages and ages ago. It was like a whole different world back then. So remember, keep those questions coming. You can ask me anything here. We've got about 15 minutes left to go in the show, and I've got one more clip to show you from last week's episode. I'm sorry, 2 weeks ago episode with Kat Murphy-Toms. She is the director of digital strategy for Giving Tuesday. And what a conversation this was.
So as the country started coming on, they started changing the Giving Tuesday logo into their country flag. We never told them to do that.
Let me try that one more time here.
So as the country started coming on, they started changing the Giving Tuesday logo into their country flag. We never told them to do that, but it's delightful, and now it's just the culture.
Here, so we'll have to go back and watch the show. Episode number 10, again with Kat Murphy-Toms, in its entirety, available at youtube.com/ChrisDrub. That's where you can go to check out the full episode. I do, before I run out of time here, want to acknowledge each and every one of you who have watched even a second of the show during this first season. I'm actually going to change hats here real quick. Now, if you're wondering, Chris, why do you have an orange wig on now? What are you doing? This was sent to me as a gift by my buddy Scott Ayers. And I do just want to say thank you, in particular to Scott, without whom there would be no Social Good Hour. If you've worked even a minute in this social media business, you know that every opportunity that comes your way is thanks to someone who's steps ahead of you, who opens a door for you out of the goodness of their heart. And for me and this show, that was Scott Ayers. So, Scott, I've got the wig on for you here in the Fly the W studio. I am incredibly grateful to Scott Ayers for introducing me to the team at Restream. And, of course, also incredibly grateful to the team at Restream for making season 1 of this show possible. I've really, really enjoyed hosting and producing the Social Good Hour here over the last 12 weeks. Just a reminder, if you want to get your free trial of Restream, you can go to restream.teamstrub.com, and that really makes all the difference as to whether or not we'll continue to have the Social Good Hour here from the Fly the W studio. I really appreciate all your comments coming in too. Chris says that my apartment is 95% props and live stream gear. It's true. There's still a ton of props behind me here on the wall. I got to do another live stream someday, just talking through all the different items that you can see here behind me. This has been quite an adventure the last 12 weeks. Maybe my mind is just a little wacky today because of the, some different, like the over-the-counter drugs that I'm on to sort of keep my allergies in check for an hour here, as well as the second COVID vaccine that I got yesterday afternoon. It's an absolute blessing. Look at this guy, this Paul, staying up late. And of course, watching on Twitch. What a guy. Again, you're watching the conclusion here of season 1 of the Social Good Hour powered by Restream. This is episode number 12. This is an Ask Me Anything episode. And if you guys have any more questions, throw them at me. I'll stick around till the end of the hour here. I've enjoyed fielding some of your questions here over the last hour. And as you guys know, if there's ever anything that I can do to support you guys, hit me up on Instagram, Twitter, at Chris Strub. Paul says, "Oh, is it the end?" It's a great question. This is the conclusion of season 1 of the Social Good Hour. It is unclear to me whether or not there will be a season 2. I hope there will be for sure. I'm looking forward to continuing to see you guys Monday afternoons, or as you would say here, Bizball, Monday nights over in the UK or wherever you guys may be watching from. It's been very challenging to launch a new live show during the pandemic. I understand how valuable everybody's time is, and we are looking at different ways to re-strategize, maybe shake up the show a little bit, if there is a show. So what are you going to do what you do best over here in the UK now that we know there's a giving thing over here? My God, we need you. I'm ready. You've got my number, Bizball, or my Instagram calling feature, however we keep it done. I know that I have your phone. Do I have phones in the UK? Is that a thing? What do I have to dial to get to the UK? I'm not sure. I'd love to come back to the UK. Paul knows that, and I'm just endlessly grateful to Paul for being the one who actually brought me to the UK the first time. I mean, this is what I was just saying right before I think you joined in, Paul, is that when you work in the social media industry, every opportunity that you get is because of someone opening a door for you. That's why I put on the orange wig here to say thank you to Scott Ayers for making the connection to Restream for me. That's perfect. That's it. I'm going to try it. +44. My love handle there, my love handle pro. Shout out to Mike for sending that. So, yeah, I'm running out of words as we're running out of time. What I'm not running out of are these party poppers. So, I'm going to try and step back, trying to figure out how to get the best possible gift out of all this. I'm going to take the headphones off here for a second. No! Been the running gag all season long with the party poppers, never really worked. Go back and watch all 12 episodes here. So. Orange hair is messing with my head a little bit there. Well, that was a good one. I know. Now that the show is probably coming to an end, I finally figured it out. But, it only took me 12 weeks to figure it out. So, just, here's for you guys. Here's a question. Yeah, again, got a couple more minutes of asking. Here's a question: do your neighbors know what you do? Pretty thick walls here in my apartment building. My neighbors to this side moved out a couple weeks ago, quite possibly because of me. I don't have a neighbor right there. The neighbors over there, I don't think they can really hear me, to be honest with you. And I live on the top floor of this building. I love living on the top floor of the building because there's never any footsteps over your head. For so many years, I got so frustrated listening to footsteps on my head. Now, this building, I think, is built a little better than some of the other buildings I've lived in. But it's a plot twist. I'm moving in next door. Bring it on, buddy. Let's go. Come on down to that Greenville. Bring your allergy med. It is rough going out there these days. I think that my eyes, I don't even look right today. But I definitely feel like I'm going to pass out as soon as the show is over. I'm going to lay down again. I slept most of this morning. I slept yesterday afternoon. It's been a rough couple of days. But I'm just so grateful for each and every one of you guys for being here. Again, I encourage you guys to go back and rewatch each and every one of these episodes. Again, episode 2 with Hannah Drake, episode 3 with Jay Do, episode 4 with Neosha Franklin, episode 5 with Troy Sandage, episode 6 with Molly Melia, episode 7 was Jen Overstad, episode 8, Julia Campbell, episode 9 with Prince Holmes, and episode 10 with Kat Murphy-Toms. Of course, episodes 1 and 11 also exist. They were more instructional. And if you like that format better, let me know. Imagine a building where each apartment contained an influencer, called Dubai. Let's go there next. I know I got my shot, Paul. I got both my shots. I'm kind of falling over today. I'm definitely looking forward to getting back out there into the world. So, that's going to do it for season 1 of the Social Get Hour, sponsored by Restream. If you want to get started with Restream, you can go to restream.teamstrub.com and get started with Restream. You can do all the fun different things that you've seen me do here with Restream during the first season of the Social Good Hour. Again, I cannot say thank you enough to each and every one of you guys for being part of the show. It really is your show. It's not my show, it's your show. And wouldn't be here without you guys. So just endlessly grateful to all of you guys for making the show a reality. And stay tuned. Maybe I'll see you next Monday here from the Fly the W studio here in downtown Greenville, South Carolina, for perhaps season 2 of the Social Good Hour. Keep in touch. Thank you. Couldn't do it without you.